Yeah, welcome back, guys. In this section, I simply want to point out an inconvenient error that occurred by programming the reducer. But before we do so, we need to check what is the problem. And to do so, I will open the animal list. Here, I already told you there's another way to debug JavaScript in the browser. You should know it. It's with Haltepunkte. I don't know. It's like stopping points, debugging points. And what I'm doing is I'm setting a debugging point right to this. This was the thing that we rewrote, if you remember. But let's write it back now, because we have an error here. And yeah, so your line should be like make use of the ECMAScript 6 map. So I want you to write return this.props.animallist.map, then open the brackets, open brackets, inside we have animal, close the brackets, use the fat arrow and use the curly braces here. So this is the ECMAScript 6 map iterator, but it didn't work out very well. If you can remember, in the fetch animals reducer here, I was returning in an object. So this is what we want to fix now. When I post, I expect an error to happen when I post an animal now, because it cannot iterate over the map. So I post Hans. Let's say Hans is a parrot. Hans is 12 years old. And I'm jumping over this. No, Hans is still there. We are fine. Okay, magically we are fine. Now we are mapping correctly. Let's add another Hans. Yeah, and here is the error that I'm expecting. It's an uncaught type error, because map is not a function, because we cannot map over an object here. And this is the problem that we are creating in the reducer. I'm returning an object here. And what I really want to return, to be consistent, is I want to return an array, because my data structure looks like this. I'm having an array as animal list, and inside my animal list are objects of animals, right? And And what I did now with this line here, I somehow changed this to be a structure like object that contains objects, that contains objects, and so on. But this is not what I want. Also, I'm iterating here over ID. I think this would not work out. So let's just rewrote it to be correct. Let's say we are creating a variable with the name new state. I know you would say, okay, it's the same name here, but it's okay with ECMAScript 6 and let. We are able to use them, and I'm spreading the state here into an array. And then I simply say new state, make use of the push method, and inside my push method I make use of action.payload, and then I'm returning the new state. So now I'm expecting the new state to be type of an error filled with objects of animals. So this would be a more precise and correct way of returning it, because here I'm returning an array and here I'm returning an array. So why do I return an object here in the first place? It's an error I want to point out. There was a fix for it, because the map of Lodash is very agnostic. to the type. It returns simply an array, out of an array or out of an object, but let's stay consistent here, okay? So I will reload now. Yeah, there are no animals. I need to remove this, you know. Yeah, there are 3 animals like Hans and Hans. I will add Petra. Petra is an owl, yeah, let's say an owl. Owls, I think they're getting old. I think she's female. And now let's check. Yeah, it creates an animal. Petra is there. We don't have a console error. And now this is because Petra is correctly added to an array of objects. So Petra is just another object into an array. Like we can see here, an array, and inside this is an object that we pushed into it via the action payload, because this was here. Yeah, I will see you in the next section for the outro. I think in the end, let's see in the next section.